March 20th, 2013. It is the first day of spring, and it doesn't feel like it much of the Northeast. Let's start out with a nice photo here from Betty. Thank you very much for this photo, Betty. You can see these clouds that are shaped like, they almost look like rows of cornfields or something like that. These clouds are typically lined up before typically in front of a warm front, and they have these striations like you see here, and this is actually, they line up and this is how they form, and they signify that a front is on its way within 12 to 24 hours. These can also signify inclement weather is incoming within the next half a day to a day. So that's what you're looking at there. Very beautiful, and look at the blue sky behind it, very nice. And this one's from Jason from New Hampshire. This is from the other day. I didn't quite get it on yesterday's video, but you can see, look at the snowfall here across on his outdoors here. You can see it really started to accumulate here in New Hampshire, and this was the story pretty much up and down through the Boston area all the way up to New Hampshire and Maine. So thank you for sending in those photos. I accept photos and videos, so everybody send those in if you have them. So let's get right into much of the coverage that we're covering right now. I want to get right into lake effect. Lake effect, this is some parts of where I came from here in Oswego County here for the SUNY Oswego, my alma mater. So look at Oswego County all the way over through Jefferson and Lewis counties. This is where we're looking at snowfall totals. This is additional snowfall totals through sunset this evening, through sunset tomorrow evening, which would be Thursday. And you can see here the snowfall totals will be rather great. We're looking at an additional 5 to 8 inches with locally higher amounts. And off of Lake Erie here, just east of Cleveland, and heading up towards just south of Buffalo, and Cattaraugus and Allegheny counties, and extending down towards Ashtabula County here, and just east of Cleveland. That's where we're looking at additional accumulations of a widespread 2 to 4, with some locally higher band amounts of upwards of 5 to 8 inches, and total snow accumulations will be much greater than that. I received a report from my Facebook page from Robert that up to a foot of snow has fallen near the Jamestown, New York area. So thanks for that report, Robert. So here we go. We've got a number of factors setting us up for next week's storm. But before we get to next week's storm, I want to go over something really quick here. There's going to be an inverted trough across the northeast corridor here, mainly tonight into tomorrow, Thursday. And this is where we're going to set up for possibly snowfall accumulations from Cape Cod. Well, let me zoom right in here. Cape Cod down and through just extreme eastern New Jersey, extreme eastern Long Island, and extreme eastern Cape Cod, Nantucket. 2 to 4 inches with locally higher amounts on the tip of Cape Cod to 3 to 5 and Nantucket 3 to 5. This is a very sharp cutoff. This is an inverted trough that we'll set up, and it's kind of pinwheeling off the main low that's off the coast. So we're going to continue to watch that. Most areas won't see snow, but the extreme eastern areas here, that's where we're going to watch for it. So let's get right into next week's scenario, shall we? Look at the conditions that are going to set up right for this storm. We've got the jet stream that's going to dig across the east, and we've got the blocking high across eastern Canada and even central Canada. A triple barrel high, central Alberta, central Ontario, and in western Newfoundland, over to Greenland, another high pressure system that will be on the order of almost 31.75 inches. That's a very amazingly high pressure system, and this will depend greatly, and I'm going to show you some model snapshots very briefly as to, and I'm going to explain why I think that's going to be. You can see this system is going to plow north. This is what I think here at MeteoMark. It's going to spread snow and sleet and freezing rain across parts of the mid-Atlantic, and then a coastal low could develop. So initially we'll get some warm air developing, and we'll get some severe weather down here in the south, Texas, over the Gulf Coast. But here in the Northeast, that's where people need to watch for Palm Sunday into Monday. I'm not exactly sure if this low is going to head up the coast yet, and let me show you why. Here's the model guidance. This is the GFS. GFS takes the low up the Ohio Valley and then redistributes another low and then moves it slightly up the coast. And you can see, look at it, really bombs it off the coast, just off the eastern tip of Long Island by next Monday night and Tuesday. Let's take a look at the Euro, the ECMWF. It's much further south, and it actually moves the system and then just trails it off the coast, bringing some light snow accumulations to parts of Virginia. So that's what we're looking at. Those are the two model solutions. Let's take a look at temperatures across. Now that it's springtime, it's time to get cold across the Northeast. We see 20s and 30s across most of the Northeast. Here in the West, that's where we begin to warm up, but the Rocky Mountains, they get a little bit of the troughiness from the systems here in the East, so things start to cool down. But here in the Plain States, we get that return flow with that low pressure moving out of the Ohio Valley. We get those temperatures bubbling up into the 60s and 70s down south here with that severe weather outbreak likely later this weekend. So let's take a look at the systems for the rest of the period. We're not looking at too much in the way of problems, but across the south, that's where we're going to be looking at the severe weather. So let's get right into anything else. We don't have too much else to talk about. So right now, that main system we're going to talk about next week, and I will discuss it in further detail in the coming days. The models are very divergent on this system, so we'll continue to watch it here at MeteoMark. Like me on Facebook at MeteoMark. I've gotten a number of new subscribers. Thank you very much for subscribing to me, liking me on Facebook. MeteoMark.com, especially for my local viewers, anybody within a 100-mile radius, or if you just want to look at weather data, I have it on there. I also have some weather videos. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube as well. Here's a 4-day forecast for my hometown viewers from Binghamton to Elmira and the northern tier counties of Pennsylvania. As you can see here, let me step off to the left here, or to your right. We have conditions remaining rather lake effect snow-like. Lake effect snow bands will continue across the area, scattered in nature across the southern tier of New York and the northern tier counties of Pennsylvania. We're looking at highs below normal, mid-30s, pretty much through the period. It's towards the weekend that we approach 40 degrees, especially by Sunday here. We'll see scattered snow showers and flurries pretty much every day with those lake effect snow bands that come off Lake Ontario, Lake Erie, and some of the Finger Lakes that have become unfrozen at this time. So we're going to continue to watch that. Overnight lows will dip down into about 20 on the hilltops. And of course, those normally colder valleys, especially through Friday night, could dip down to about 14 or 15 degrees, especially in the Susquehanna River Basin. That's going to do it for MeteoMark.